I believe we're supposed to begin, Cassie.
All right, it's time for us to start this thing.
Before we get into the news, let's just celebrate the fact that Starbucks has holiday cups.
I mean, it's just the best time of year when they have red cups or holiday cups or whatever they call them now.
Yeah, I agree. It is the best time of the year. And the second best time of the year happens right after this when we kick off this week's episode. I like your casual.
That's all I got. That's all I got today.
How would you spell yours? I think yours would be spelled. Here it comes. Yours would be spelled H-E-H-H-E-H-H-E-H. Nope. No, be H-E-H-H-E-H-H-E-H-N.
Just to mark a theme. Yeah. Yeah. All right.
What would mine be?
It depends on what type of laugh we're talking about.
How about my silent laugh?
I would say it's just a smile.
the floating forward smile.
Yeah.
Yeah, I get it. I think it's funny. What's fantastic this week, Cassie?
So I'm going to start off with the non-fantastic part and then get into the fantastic part.
Mm-hmm.
So Facebook rebranded to Facebook, all caps. So they're trying to differentiate, I guess, between
Jim
like
Guys
brand. Yeah, exactly. But Twitter CEO Jack Dorsey totally trolled them on Twitter about it, which was pretty great. He just tweeted Twitter, buy Twitter, and it was enough said, dude. It's such a dumb rebranding. You can't rebrand something and all that you've done differently is put it in all caps. That isn't a different brand. It's just a reason to spend a lot of marketing dollars.
All right, but part of me believes that somewhere deep down, it's actually genius because it got everybody to talk about Facebook. So did they do that? They're not dumb. Did they do that knowing what the fallout or the talk was going to be? It gets people talking about it. The amount of press hits that they probably got is significant.
And I don't think that it's a bad idea for them to differentiate between the app versus their global brand that also owns Instagram and WhatsApp and all that stuff. But they might need a little bit more differentiation. But maybe, clearly they're the geniuses and I'm not.
Right.
So.
Yep. All right. Celebrity rebranded as Celebrity.
Oh, man. So our celebrity this week, I guess, might be considered an infamous celebrity at this point. It's
Me?
McDonald's CEO Steve Easterbrook now.
Oh, thank God. Yeah, I don't want to be associated with that story. Wait. Can I say my comment before you read the thing?
Uh-huh.
All right, here's my comment. If you Google how much Steve Easterbrook made in 1 year as a salary, it was $15.4 million. Now, forget about all the stock options. He made much more than that. If I were him in that situation, now given he's divorced, so it seems like it's okay for him to have a relationship as far as I could read, I would go to that person. I would say, here is $1 million. Go quit tomorrow and let's be in a relationship. You've made your life to be CEO of arguably the most recognized food brand in the universe. And I would have taken $1 million and said, hey, sweetheart, go ahead and quit. I got you. And now let's have the relationship.
Yeah, but also from her side of things, you would have to feel like a hooker. That, it would be
well, there it is.
Obviously.
There it is. We have the promo.
I knew that you were going to say that as soon as I said it.
Cassie said you would feel like a hooker.
You wouldn't feel like a hooker. You would be a hooker.
Look, if my wife said, here's $1 million, go quit tomorrow, I would do it.
Yeah,
I would not feel like a hooker.
I'd feel a little cheap and then I'd go with spade. All right.
I get it. It's just these dumbass people that I don't want to get inappropriate with it, but think with your brain. Really?
Yep.
$15.4 million, and you can't pause for 1 second and say, maybe this isn't a good idea. Now, Do I believe that's the reason he was fired? No. The real reason is underperforming business. They have to have the fallout, and it's easier to point towards the CEO and say he was distracted. That's why our sales have been struggling. They've lost their CMO, their chief people officer, and Easterbrook all within a short period of time. So I think there's something else behind this that we don't know. Maybe we'll find out. That will be cash money when we figure that one out.
Yeah, for sure.
All right. You didn't even have to read that one. I just talked about it. All right, cash money.
I mean, that's what this should be. We're getting there.
Get in there. Yeah. Tell me the headline, and I'll tell you our thoughts.
All right, we're sticking in the restaurant industry, but it's expected to reach 1.2 trillion by 2030, and that just means that essentially over the next 10 years, they're going to add probably about 2 million employees to the restaurant industry space, which is a crazy number when you think about it, but there's demand.
Okay, yeah. In a world where ease and simplicity is at the top end of the consumer's mindset, makes sense. But look at the other insights there. You have a McDonald's that is missing their sales marks. Even in a world where the economies directly to restaurant sales are increasing. So I believe the options are getting significantly higher. I still believe that Grubhub is the most dangerous player in this space because they're the biggest restaurant brand without having to serve food. And when the reviews are bad, it goes back on another business, not on them. Genius still. So watch what's going to happen with a brand like that. You have Shake Shack coming out and saying that their sales are hurting because of an exclusive relationship with Grubhub. We still have a lot of unknowns that are going to have to fall into place on how does technology, food, simplicity, and labor all work together. So yeah, I hear adding more jobs, but then on the other side, you have McDonald's saying let's put kiosks up front and try to eliminate jobs. So there's a lot of chaos right now. So I agree that it's going to climb. I have no reason not to, but I think there is something in the middle of all this mess that's going to define what the restaurant industry is for the bulk of consumers in the near term.
Salad sauce, rant number one of the day.
And them hookers are going to buy burgers.
Or date their CEOs. All right. On to forward thinking.
Wait. To be clear, that is not the opinion of 1851. We do not think she was a hooker.
No, nor do I. These thoughts and opinions are of no one.
No one's.
Yeah, they belong to no one, even though I said them. Okay. So we were actually just talking about this before I started filming, but holiday shopping is something that I truly enjoy. I mean, any time of year, but I also love Christmas. So
any time of year.
Kohl's and Macy's are going to be launching next week in New York City, like pop-ups, essentially, is a way. I mean,
what?
Online shopping, I know. Online shopping seems like the way to go, but I do think that in today's influencer-based fashion economy, that people will go to a pop-up to take a picture and put it on their Instagram story.
At Kohl's?
Not at Kohl's, maybe at Macy's, and only in New York. Like, you wouldn't do Macy's in Chicago, but in New York, it's like a thing.
A pop-up Macy's is just another term for saying Macy's can't sustain sales, so they're going to a smaller unit.
100%.
As long as Santa... Look, hey, Macy's, listen to me. Put Santa in that pop-up, and you're good. And frankly, if I were Macy's, I would rebrand it as Gimbals. And let Will Ferrell lead the charge outside. Yeah, Gimbals. That's what Macy's. Come on, be smart. If you're gonna do a pop up, brand it Gimbals. Come on, what are you doing?
All right, I like it. I would go.
Faux. All right, next.
Faux. All right, you're already calling it a faux. So
faux show.
So you actually talked about Shake Shack a little bit earlier in Cash Money. So we're talking about Shake Shack again now. So they right now are rolling out, and about, I think it's a third of their brand has it implemented right now, a 4-day work week. So I don't think that this is something that's corporate, but it's like for managers as a way to incentivize them to stay. They're also offering equity. TBD to see if it's actually going to help. I think that it would probably draw in a lot of, all right, I need to rephrase what was just about to come out of my mouth. If you're someone that's looking for that type of job, or if you're like a college student or something and you want to manage a Shake Shack, I feel like a 4-day work week would be appealing as something that could provide balance.
All right. But behind that is the fact that they want to decrease the costs that go against labor. So what they're trying to do is decrease the amounts that they're probably paying the general managers who could be salaried, and say, in exchange, we're going to give you an extra day off. But they're trying to find the solution there. That'd be my opinion. Chick-fil-A's already nailed this. Every brand needs to just study what Chick-fil-A does. So I'm sorry. I'm sure I'll get hate mail for this one. Chick-fil-A's chicken is good. Don't get me wrong.
It is.
But it's not mind-blowing. Therefore, they've just created a really sound business that treats people well, that closes on Sundays, that understands their customer, that stays simplistic on their product line. I mean, Shake Shack already has some of those elements with being burgers, fries, and shakes, and beer, and some other things. But the true story is it's a restaurant brand trying to figure out the labor market. That's it.
Yeah. All right. We're heating up.
Friendish. Let's heat up.
Friendish. All right. So your column this week is about change as it relates to sustainability. So being intentional with your change. And I like that how you kind of framed it up with surrounding how you always are moving your desk around. And we always say in the office, you can tell when things are about to shift because we'll come in one morning and the furniture will be a little bit different, which I like as a marker of the sign of something new. You might as well change something up if it's not working, but you have to make sure that it's going to work in the long run.
Yeah. So, all right. So let's stay in the office thing for a second. By the way, Cassie, since you've been here last, my office has been rearranged. So there's that. But it's trying to, so one, be intentional with your change, understand where do you want to go with it. So this is where we've talked about really nailing a vision, and you nail a vision for a whole company, but then you micro it into specific tasks. So when you're looking at change within the organization and you set the right vision for what you want to accomplish, then you're measuring against it. So you're not looking at just the indicators after week one. You might be looking at it over a 6-week, 12-week, 16-week, whatever it turns into run rate, where you're seeing, does this change now affect the vision properly? So that comes back to sustainability. Can this change be sticky enough to impact things for the long term? Now, when I decided to start a company, I did so unsatisfied with what it was at the beginning. I knew that we were going to have to be adaptable and change over time. And I think we've done a good job at doing that. But over time, I think what we've gotten better at is trying to explain why are we making a change and what is the purpose behind it. The intentions of any change that we've ever done from a sustainability standpoint was to create a better environment for the greater scope of people that were part of the vision. So, my point in the column is to say, be sustainable with what you're trying to do. So put that into the vision statement as you're trying to lay out, this is the change that's going in place. Understand what the indicators are that you're looking for to make sure that that change is winning the right way. Hold people accountable against why you're doing that change. Don't settle throughout it, or else you'll never be able to see the change become sustainable. And then focus on winning. Like if every change that you're putting in place is designed to make something positive happen. Now, anytime change happens, it creates disruption in other areas. The good thing about me moving my couch around is it really doesn't disrupt many people. But I'm looking for something that feels good, that the second I walk into that office, I feel proud of what I got. And when you do that or cross apply that to small changes within your organization, you have a shot at winning. You got any comments you want to add?
No, I think that it is, you need to be adaptable to change, because if you aren't, then your business is never going to succeed if you want to take it from an entrepreneurial standpoint, because otherwise someone else is going to have the idea and you're so stuck in your ways it won't work. But I like the idea of starting with something small, testing the water, seeing how it goes. And even if it is something as simple as like moving a desk or moving a couch that makes you more efficient and makes you feel more inspired to do something, go for it.
Well, and think about every category that we talked about today. there was some element of change that's causing us to talk about it. So the reality is it's happening all over the world. But understand how it's going to impact those around you. Just be conscious about it. Cassie, I'm sure, even though I hate talking about the weather, I'm sure it is much nicer in Dallas than it is here. 25 degrees this morning. We have hit Christmas
It's warm,
season.
but it's rainy. Yeah.
What would you rather have? Warm and rainy
This.
or cold and
This.
sunny? Man, pause.
I don't know. It depends. Leading up to Christmas, probably cold and sunny. But after Christmas, probably not.
Well, there you got it. Cassie, the most indecisive person I've ever worked with. She'll give you answers on both sides of the spectrum. Friend or foe, she'll say both. Are we done?
We're done.
Decision made.
I decided that we're done.
All done.